Good morning, my fellow Americans. This is another video from America United. And it's time to be united. In case you didn't know, which I'm sure you've all heard by now, there's a woman up in Minnesota that was killed by an ICE agent. I watched the video, and what that video shows to me is murder. That ICE agent deliberately stepped in front of the woman's vehicle. He deliberately put himself in harm's way. What he did was entrapment, at the very least. ICE isn't an agency, concerned with immigration. ICE is a secret police force that wants to execute Americans. We've all seen this before during Nazi Germany. Well, I mean, we've all heard about it. Obviously, I'm not old enough to have lived during that time, but there's a lot of blame being put on Trump, which he deserves blame. But it's not just him, it's Democrats too. Both sides are responsible for him coming to power. Republicans used to be an honorable organization at one point. Now, Republican gets associated with MAGA. MAGA is not a party. MAGA is a cult. But it's just not, it's not just MAGA or Republicans that are at fault. It's Democrats too. That's the biggest issue with this country, is a political party system. They want to argue and fight just because they're in opposite parties. That is a crock of shit. Just because you're in opposite, in different parties doesn't mean that you can't cooperate or, try to work together to make this country better. And I keep seeing from these MAGA supporters that Joe Biden or Obama or whoever, a Democrat, let in like how many ever million illegal immigrants. No, that's not a fact. Illegal immigration has been going on for a long time, and the fact of the matter is both sides are responsible. There are people who have come here and done things the legal way. And those that haven't, yes, they should be deported. But the problem with that, though, is the current administration tends to color the facts or outright lie. There's been American citizens that have been deported. MAGA is supposed to stand for Make America Great again. Well, I'm sorry, but this current administration has its own agendas. It's not about making America great again. There is too much corruption on both sides. And that needs to end. We need someone who won't be afraid to crush the corruption. We need someone who will not be afraid to do what is necessary to turn this country around. We need someone who will make the changes necessary to turn this country around. That is why this channel is called America United. There is too much political hate and violence going on right now. There are too many traitors in this country. That needs to end now. All this political infighting needs to end now. And it's all because the two parties don't want to sit here and agree, and they just want to, disagree on stuff just because they're from opposite parties. It's Democrats and Republicans' fault that this country is going the way it is. It is time for a change. It is time for a drastic change. If I was president, I'd be making these changes. I'd be arresting traitors. I would not be pardoning drug dealers. The one thing that needs to happen is ICE needs to be disbanded. I'm calling on all American citizens, if you see an ICE agent, especially if they're masked, to perform a citizen's arrest. That is your legal right to do. If you're in law enforcement, you do not need to be masked. There needs to be transparency. And there hasn't been transparency in this country for a long time. We don't need Democrats and Republicans arguing just because they're on different sides of the party. We don't need law enforcement to hide their identities so they can further corruption, so they can continue to murder citizens. We need unity. We need to stop trying to invade other countries on bullshit excuses. If the Republicans and Democrats can't do things, then maybe it's up to me to do things. Maybe it's up to America United to do things. And America United is not a party. We've seen what the party system's doing to this country. America United is an idea. Give me the chance, and I will end the corruption. I will end the bickering and the infighting. It is time that we do what we need to do for this country. That's it. I am not aligned with either side. I am neither Republican nor Democrat, sorry. Because both sides lie. We need someone who's not aligned with the other side to fix this country. Because otherwise it's never going to get fixed. How many times is the American people going to continue to be lied to? How long are you all going to stand for that? I guarantee you what, if I were president, I'd be making some drastic changes. It's time for a change in this country. It's time for this country to change. If I'm president, there won't be a secret police. There'll be transparency. And there's, as I said before, there's plenty of traitors in this country. When you know what the maximum penalty for treason is, execution. I've got no problem executing traitors. I've got no problem stamping out corrupt officials, corrupt politicians. Stop putting your faith in both Democrats and Republicans, because they're only ruining this country. Both parties have some good things, but it seems like the Republican Party no longer exists. They just become MAGA, a cult that believes Donald Trump is God. I keep seeing things on Facebook. Well, Joe Biden did this or Joe Biden did that, or people want to sit here and deflect away from the real issues. That needs to end. We need responsibility for everybody, not just one party or the other. Responsibility for everybody. Excuse me. I didn't serve my country for 6 years just to see American troops be deployed against American citizens. Or to see American citizens be shot and killed by a secret police. We need transparency. We need the political violence to end, the political hatred to end. It's not even just political hatred, it's racism too. We need all this stuff to end. If I were president, a lot of people were going to get mad, on both sides of the party, or both sides of the aisle, both parties, whatever you want to say it. But it's time to make the citizens first, not the politicians. Medical, and I don't quite understand everything about the whole medical thing, but medical benefits or medical costs are going up, or premiums, or whatever. We just had a government shutdown because neither party could agree on anything. I agree partially with the way the Democrats did things, because they wanted, Obamacare to be fixed. This whole time that the Affordable Care Act has been in law, the Republicans have never bothered to address the issues. They tried to get rid of Obamacare, but they haven't put in an alternate proposal for insurance in this country. And as far as I'm concerned, the Democrats failed because they gave it to the Republicans without forcing a vote on Obamacare. Both sides are to blame for this. We need someone strong who's going to run this country. We need someone strong who's going to end the corruption, get rid of the traitors in this country, and someone who's going to do what's right for the citizens of this country. I've seen far too many hateful comments. A lot of it's coming from the MAGA party. I've seen a lot of bullshit propaganda from both parties. A lot of that's come from the MAGA party too. All you people, and I'm referring to everybody, Democrats and Republicans, you all need to start thinking for yourselves. Stop being brainwashed. There's too much hatred going on in this country. Let's take, gun violence, for example. How many mass shootings do we have? And nobody wants to do anything because nobody can agree on anything. And every time someone mentions the words gun control, people are like, no, you're going to take our Second Amendment rights away. I think take our right to... That's the conclusion that people automatically jump to. There can be gun control without taking people's guns away. There needs to be some form of gun control. And, obviously it's just more than that. We need to improve mental health in this country too. We need to improve background checks. There's a lot of things we need to do. And that, for a lot of different issues, not just gun violence or whatever. And, we need consensus on this. And we need someone who's going to be strong enough to where if the politicians are going to stand aside, they need to be swept away in order to make the changes that are necessary. That's the biggest problem with this country is politics. If I were president, everything would change. I can guarantee you that. I'm not going to be like Donald Trump and say they're going to change right away. It'll take time, but I already got a plan what to do if I were to become president. There would be some drastic changes made to this country. There would be some drastic changes made to the way it's governed. We need to fix this country. We need to fix it now. We need America united. Because the Republicans and Democrats aren't going to do it. They're the ones responsible for the destruction of this country. It needs to end. The political infighting needs to end. The political hatred and racism needs to end. Tyranny needs to end. Treason needs to be crushed. There's only one person that's willing to do that. And this person doesn't belong to either party. What happened in Minnesota was murder. Plain and simple. That is an example of corruption. When you sit here and jump in front of someone's vehicle to entrap them into trying to run them over, which I've seen the video and she wasn't trying to run them over. From all my sources, that they're telling her to move her vehicle out of the middle of the way. Which the video shows that she was trying to do. Excuse me. It needs to end. We need to be united. We need America united. Thank you for watching. I'm going to try to, make more videos for this channel now that the new year's begun. Because we need leadership. And we need it now. I thank you for watching.